What's up, everybody? It's waba, and in this video I wanted to talk about my progression thus far in Atlas of Worlds, the Hardcore Essence League, and subsequently my Hierophant low-life Shockwave Totem build. And just so you know, if you are playing this build, you can kind of get an idea of where I am and maybe where you are, and have some like good comparisons, and also, you know, just in Atlas in general. And the first thing about Essence League and Atlas of Worlds is I've been going pretty methodically through all my maps. I'm doing, before I progress to tier 9, I'm actually doing all the previous tiers, not necessarily tier 9, but a tier above. The highest tier map that I actually have right now is a tier 9, and you know, I anticipate once I'm actually able to pick up, you know, some of these other ones, like I still have to do Race Course and Query, and once I start picking up these maps, which I'll be trading for, I'm going to start doing my tier 9s and, you know, potentially get into tier 10s and tier 11s sometime today and tomorrow. And I will begin level 90 very shortly. I'm almost level 89. But Atlas has been going pretty well for me. I have shaped my Jungle Valley map, and I have shaped Channel. I probably shouldn't have shaped Channel. I probably should have shaped something like Arid Lake or something like that, but I actually really like the tile set for Channel, but now we'll see. Now, as for the just League in general, I have been trading pretty consistently. I've been purchasing Exalted Orbs for anywhere from like 28 to 31 Chaos. And the reason why I'm doing this is because, one, Exalted Orbs will eventually rise in price, but also because a lot of the big trades that I am doing, I'll just be using an Exalted Orb. I still plan on getting myself a Shabron's Wrapping, but as you can see right now, I'm actually just below AKES without a Shabs, and that's kind of a big deal. But there's a couple reasons why this is the case. First off, Pariah, this unique ring, gives me a lot of ES. I could potentially get more ES out of a rare ring, especially when you combine it with a percentage craft from Elrion. However, the one thing that I really like about Pariah is the fact that it gives me +2 to level of socketed gems, and I want to get level 83 auras, or not level 83, level 23 auras, and being my purities and my disciplines, especially when I start getting higher level content, especially with Guardian fights. And I plan on taking this build to all the Guardian encounters and potentially Shaper. As for it being able to do Shaper, I'm not entirely sure. I think I'll be able to do most of the Guardian encounters, and there are going to be some things that I change to accommodate that, but Shaper, different story. That's a whole other level. But let me show you some items that I picked up for my build that were actually really good for me, and you know, something that I think, you know, you should be looking for in the future as well. So I got myself these nice 260 ES gloves with chaos resistance. Really good. I picked these up for 3.5 exalts, and this is something that's definitely carrying my ES a long way. Another thing that I got, and I got this pretty early on, and I got a really good deal on this. I bought this belt for 3 chaos and 29% chaos resist, 35 cold res, 36 strength, and 47 energy shield. This is a very good belt for 3 chaos. This is perfectly fine for me, and I plan on putting movement speed on this from Torah as soon as I get that. Another thing that I'm actually thinking about doing is I'm thinking about dropping my Step-in Erd boots and getting another pair of ES boots, you know, potentially something with higher ES and, you know, just as much movement speed. Because the more ES that I get on these pieces, the more interesting things I could do on other pieces. So, and the big reason why, especially when we're thinking about encounters such as, you know, the Guardians and everything else, Step-in Erds, while very good for a budget and giving you, you know, so much energy shield and movement speed, you know, all these extra modifiers that, you know, give you bonuses when you're on ground effects, they're not really that big of a deal in a lot of encounters. Now, the exception would be if in the Shaper encounter, whenever he throws those like little orbs at you that put on the really high, insanely high damage over time ground effects, if that is considered desecrated ground, then these would be really, really good. But overall, I'm just looking at the fact that I don't get that much benefit out of a lot of these like ground effect modifiers, and there are times where I'm not affected by it at all. And with my chaos resistance going up, even desecrated ground may not be an issue for me with this build, because I'm honestly looking at having 60 to 75% chaos resist at this point. So if I'm able to get some boots with 250 plus ES, 30 movement speed, or I potentially don't even need movement speed because of this, what just recently happened. Now we could get these spell daggers with cast speed on it. I could kind of just switch to a Whirling Blade setup and a high ES boot without movement speed. Do I really want to do that? I'm not entirely sure, but that is something that we can do. And now with getting high ES boots and going to Whirling Blades, now I had mentioned that I'm looking at a way to get 50 plus on my chaos resist. That is because I'm planning on using a Ming's Heart eventually. So getting more ES on other slots so I could replace things like this would be very good, because that's going to make a big deal. Also, another area of opportunity that I have is still on my helm. I'm still looking at a 322 ES helm. So that's considering all these things with ignoring the fact that I am actually still a Solaris Lorica. So maybe using getting a Shavs, and I want a 6-link Shavs, and that's definitely something that I am saving for right now. But getting a Shavs, a Ming's Heart, and then I think I'm going to have to switch to either a Eye of Chiula, or I'll have to drop the Pariah and I will have to use a Valerium. And the thing about Valerium is I really like stun immunity versus changing the stun threshold, because stun immunity is such a big deal, especially when you can't pot. I mean, it's a big deal for CI and ES builds in general. So Eye of Chiula gives me a little bit more. So yeah, I'm really thinking about that right now. But again, and then the other thing, and so the thing that I like about Pariah is the fact that it gives you +2 level socketed gems. But there is a essence that will actually give you +2 socketed aura, or socketed aura gems in a helm. So if I'm actually able to get a +2 socketed aura gem in my helm and have like a 400 ES helm, it would be really expensive and be worth a lot, but it would also be worth quite a bit. I mean, that would actually help me out, and that would kind of free up this idea of using the Pariah slot. And the last thing I'm going to talk about going into Shaper and some of the things that I plan on doing. One, I plan on scaling my physical damage more. So I'm thinking about potentially not using Hatred, especially in encounters where they're immune to chill effects. I'm also assuming that they're going to have very high cold resistances. And so because of that, I'm probably going to try using a blasphemy, a dual curse blasphemy setup where I have vulnerability and enfeeble. And what this will do, this will really aid my poison damage and my physical damage, because I plan on using poison where I can. But on the other fights where there's poison immunity, I will be focusing on more just straight physical damage. So instead of using a poison gem, I'm going to be using critical damage in my, potential 6-link. So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gearing up and slowly getting ready to and doing the Shaper encounters and the Guardian encounters and everything. It's just going to be definitely a slow burn. And as you stick with me on this YouTube channel to see what I'm going on, or to see what I have going on with it and what I plan on doing. Let me know where you guys are at with your Hierophant Shockwave Totem builds, or just your builds in general, and how you plan on tackling Guardian and Shaper and whatnot. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Have any ideas for me, or have any questions about the build that you're doing or plan on doing? Let me know. And yeah, that's about it. Bye bye.